Hello, I'm Brian Guthrie. This may be the first time some of you have seen my face or heard me talk about this. I'm the author of Rise, its sequel Fall, which is done. Isn't on Inkshares yet. I'm not sure when I'll do that. I am a winner of the Rise, the Nerdist contest that happened last fall. That's how Rise made it onto the publication track with Inkshares, and it's just an update to keep you informed of what's going on. So Rise is currently through its developmental edit. It's back with the developmental editor, and unless he sees something glaring, he's going to just send it on to the copy editor. He gave me some really good feedback on the first round, which I got back in late November. I got it back to him December 31st, which was right before, well, it might have been right after December 31st. I know I finished it on December 31st, got it to him by that weekend. Made some really good edits to it, tightened up a lot of dialogue, expanded on some things that just kind of enriched the story without taking away too much of the mystery. I did not take every single bit of advice that he suggested. I did try to maintain what I was trying to do with the story while at the same time taking his advice and using it as best I could. So that's an update on Rise. It is still slated for release hard copy publication in mid-September, although Inkshares and Girl Friday Productions are in discussions about moving that up to happen at DragonCon, which I will be at. So if you're planning on being at DragonCon, you can find me. I will be spending most of my time in the Sheraton Grand Ballroom as I work as a volunteer with Tech Ops there, but I'm not really sure what the other plans will be. So I have been in communication with Logwin, which is the source material for what's going on here. I'm expecting another update from her where she answers more questions. I was expecting it prior to this, however, the means by which we communicate are not as reliable as I would like, and they are trying hard right now. They're working really hard right now to get a video transmitted from their world to me. It's, according to them, it's an extremely complicated process. I would be happy with just straight audio. I've tried to see if I could take one attempt that they made at sending me something and ripping just the audio from that, but it was too distorted to really make any. And I've had issues already, as you've heard from the previous two, of getting her voice to something resembling, a good quality sound file, and it hasn't been that good. It very much sounds like I'm recording it on a bad microphone. So we'll see how it goes from there. Not really too much else to update you on. As you can see there, I've included the link for you to where you can still go to pre-order Rise. You can send your friends to there, and over there, that is the new cover. You can see we zoomed in tighter on it. There was some discussion between me and the publisher about the effect we were going for. If you were paying attention to the updates I sent out earlier late 2015, early 2016, there was some discussion about putting a sunrise on there, but after I sat down with them and explained the shape of this world, they agreed with me that having a sunrise is not actually possible in a world where you can't see the sun, and all of your light comes from the core below, off of the edge of a cliff. So it's much like there's light being reflected up past you, and it's not coming from above and shining down or appearing over a horizon as when the sun rises. So we tried to create create that feel without putting an actual sunrise on there. And what you see there is the suggestion of a reader. He is actually someone I work with DragonCon, and he suggested that zooming it in tight. I think he suggested even tighter, but that's the one we settled on. And the artist that created it, he worked really hard with me to get a larger version of the file so we could send it to the editor, or send it to the artist who's doing the cover. Now he's working on the side and the back. I also changed the font of the title there. And I kind of like that little flourish with the eye rising above the rest of the letters. Some of our readers, they didn't really like it, but for the most part, it was received well, and it definitely looks a lot more techy, which was something we were going for. Also, and bringing up the author reminds me, he and I have been in discussion about some new images, particularly the possibility of making some graphic novel images to do it. And I've been working up some short story ideas to send to him so he can play around with it. He's very much like me. He's trying to expand his skills and grow in things. I mean, making this video is a whole expansion of my skill set. I'm having to learn how to do this. Jury rig what I have to do without having bad quality sounds like that. So it's one of those. I think my wife, she says it best when she says, if you improve yourself in one thing, you improve yourself in all. If you improve yourself in all things. So learning how to do this is just another way of improving myself, and that's what my artist friend is trying to do. He's put a lot of hard work into it. He was my sounding board for this story several years ago, and he's helped me with a lot of aspects of it, just giving me someone to bounce ideas off of. And he draws a lot of the sketches you've seen. He drew simply as a point of me asking him, hey, can you draw something like this? Give me an idea what you see when I describe this to you. And then he would give that to me, and I would use that to expand on details that I was going on. It was like, I know what I'm seeing when I hear these words. I want to know what you're seeing when you hear these words. So that's kind of like the way that process has worked. So I don't really have anything else to give you. If you've been paying attention to the bottom of the screen, you'll see that I've got some websites scrolling across the page. My author site, where you can keep up with me as an author. That's where my Twitter feed and a lot of my Inkshares posts get posted again. The author's site, the story site, is where you can go to keep up with things specifically about this story. The author site, you might get out other things that I've been working on, some of the other ideas that I've been working on. And there's my author Twitter account and the Facebook account. One note about that, the Twitter account feeds to the Facebook account. So you can follow one and still get the updates from the other. Really doesn't matter, it just depends on which one you prefer to be on. And I think you can send questions and comments to me on both of those. I'd love to answer them. So that was all. I will be sure to get an update to you when there's more news to report, but I don't want to flood your email with a bunch of author updates. I'm following a bunch of different projects, so I get a lot of author updates. I understand what it's like to have kind of an overwhelming amount of email to look at. I try to keep up with all of them. Some days I fall behind, so I try not to do too many of these. Just post it when there's something actually noteworthy to post. The next one will probably come after Rise has come back from the copy edit, and we are moving into the next phase of the publication process. So, thanks, and we'll talk to you next time.